Hi everyone. I almost feel guilty making this film. I mean, had a great time last week. We actually managed to go away on a holiday to the Spanish island of Majorca. Didn't think I'd ever be able to make it, and I'd had probably 3 or 4 weeks when I'd had quite a bad relapse and just didn't seem to be getting any better. So when the time came to go, I was sort of wondering whether I was going to cope with it. But actually it turned out to be really good. We hadn't intended to do much once we got there. Just find somewhere quiet and read and just lie in the sun. And that's exactly what we did. I was really amazed by how the airlines did everything they could to make sure that it was as easy as possible. I told them I was disabled, and they laid on a proper shuttle to get us to and from the aircraft. We went to the front of the queue at the check-in, front of the queue at passport control, and all I can say is they did everything they could. The journey was quite hard, but I survived it. I started taking my Clonazepam regime again. Again, I'm taking the 0.5 at night, 2.5 and 0.25 in the morning, and 0.5 at lunchtime. And I've noticed I'm doing quite well. What I have realised this time is that I can't keep pushing. And I know back in the summer when I had that really good period, when I thought I was well, and found once the Clonazepam wore off, I was starting to feel bad again. I just kept pushing, and I ended up in a huge relapse. And I put it down at that time to the Clonazepam, to my body getting used to it. But I'm not so sure now, if I'm honest. I'm not so sure. I think it was that because the Clonazepam was helping me to do so much, I quite simply overdid it and ended up with a huge relapse, which has taken me a long while to get out of. So I seem to have that under control. I seem to have got the right level of medication. I'm sleeping every afternoon for a couple of hours, but as I only sleep 5 or 6 hours at night, and it's not very good sleep anyhow. 2 hours in the afternoon is nothing. I'm noticing, as you can tell, that my voluntary movements have improved incredibly. Before going away, I was jumping around like mad again and having lots of episodes. I haven't had any episodes since. I get the odd involuntary movement, but nothing compared to usual. And as you can see, my speech is pretty good, although it does go quiet if I talk too long. I've really come to a point where I've decided I need to learn how to manage my illness, something I've not done properly. And I know that some people feel that, and they get a little upset when we talk about managing, because really what we want is a cure. But I've read so many people testimonies of how living within their energy, in their abilities, I was going to say energy envelope, but I don't particularly like the term anyhow, but living within it and not overdoing it actually has helped them to gain control over their illness to some point, and in some cases at least some improvement. I don't believe that it's a miracle cure or a guarantee of getting better, but I do think that what I've been doing in denying the illness, in trying to push too hard, has actually ended up in making me worse. So for a mixture of my medication, of regular rests, I'm resting more. I've turned the television off nearly all day now. I didn't realise how much I was being affected by the overstimulation of television and watching films and the noise. I hadn't realised it, but I've noticed, and I noticed this on holiday really, because we had no TV. All we did was sit in the quiet in the sun. As you can see, my bits, got a bit of a tan from it. And I noticed that that was making quite a bit of difference. I found that I can read fiction. I can't read anything complicated, but fiction I can read. So I've joined the library and taken up some reading. I'm reading books. It's a strange thing, but that's what I've done. And at the moment things are looking quite good. I'm taking a rest in the morning for 10–15 minutes, just lying down and quiet, and that again is helping. My gait is still not brilliant, but it's a lot better. But I'm not pushing it again. I've been able to go out for short walks the last couple of days, but I've sort of gone to places where I know there have been benches so that I can sit down every few hundred yards or something like that, which has worked again. So I'm trying to find ways around my illness and trying to live within it. There's no guarantee I'm not going to have another huge relapse, and I understand that, but I feel more in control. And if you can possibly, and I know this is really out of the question for so many people, we couldn't really afford it, we made ourselves, and I know that some people's health is just so far off they can't do it, but if you can ever get away just to have a week in the sun, the temperature was absolutely perfect, 21, 22 in the day and probably about 14 at night, so it wasn't unbearable to sleep at night. And it was the right time of the year, to the right temperature, and I've gained just so much out of having that time away. So if you could possibly do it, my advice is do it. Make sure the airlines know you're disabled, and do everything you can to minimise the effects of the journey. I mean, Majorca from here in UK was about 2 hours flight. What we did do wrong at first is we went by train to Gatwick Airport, which meant quite a long walk to get to the check-ins to get any extra help. So that wasn't sensible. We should have taken a taxi. But if you work things out and you can do it, I tell you that it's well worth it. After feeling absolutely dead when I got there, by the end of the first day I was just feeling so much more relaxed, so little stress, and the effects of the fresh air and the sun did me a world of good. So that's my video. I feel a bit guilty making this and saying this because I know how many of you struggle even to be able to go outside, yeah, it's been good, and I will speak to you all again very soon, and that's me for now. God bless. Bye.